Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakdown Podcast YouTube channel. My name's Corey, and in this episode, we are going to break down the latest from The Masked Singer. And as with me, as always, it's Vic.
That's me. As with me, as always. I love it.
Yes, as with me. That's something. I'm working on new sentences. I'm going to make things.
Words are hard. For
yeah,
you, I understand.
Words are hard, and I'm trying to make a new trend.
Gotcha.
So, this week we had a new contestant.
Yes.
We almost thought we had two new contestants, but turned out it was just a judge.
Yeah, that was weird, dude. Like, when he came out, I was like, what the hell is happening right now? Who is this little person that's trying to come out? And then I saw the ice cream. I was falling apart. I'm like, what is happening right now?
I will say this. My first thought was that it was the dude from Chelsea Handler's show.
That's what I thought, too. That's exactly what I thought.
But then, I don't know why I didn't just think that it's probably a judge.
Right.
If I would have thought that first,
because they've never had a judge come out on stage in full costume singing. This was a first. Like, this is a complete first.
I thought they did it last season once,
so.
but anyhow. He starts singing. I don't know why I didn't think about him, because I mentioned this dude either last season or the season before as a contestant.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, because I said it was the dude with the accent from Will and Grace, and that's him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name, but yeah, it turns out he's the judge on this episode.
But it's super random. Like, he must be on one of their other shows or something, because they really don't just like invite miscellaneous people. They're always people that are connected to them some way, somehow, either from one of the other shows or something. So
let's be honest, he's like a C-tier celebrity.
Damn,
let's be totally honest. He's definitely not A. Oh, come on. We know people like
in tons of things though. Like,
doesn't mean anything.
Nobody body of work, he is huge. Just not in stature.
It doesn't matter. I couldn't even remember his name. I mean, that should be enough to give of a reason.
I can't remember. I can't remember actual people's that I'm seeing on TV on a regular basis name.
That's true. That's true.
If I didn't know who Nick Cannon was from Wild 'N Out all the time, I'd be like, that black guy from Drumline.
Yeah, Drumline dude. So yeah, he comes out first, and so no biggie there. But we do get the Joker or Jester, as they call him.
That's our newest wild card.
Now I'm going to say this, since we're talking about him, this costume, you may not realize, had to be redone.
What do you mean?
Because it couldn't get by the censors. Because he had a gigantic cod piece.
Oh yeah,
I thought they were like, no, that's not going to work.
Weird in that when he walked out, I was like, why is his junk hanging there like that?
Yeah, they had a different cod piece on him, and so they had to change it, because I'm like, that's on you if you look directly at it. It wasn't anything specific. Yeah. It just made the crotch stand out
very
more.
Pronounced.
Yes. So they had to change it. So and I think if you watch it back and hear some of the things that they say about him, about the character, you'll kind of understand where those comments are coming from. Because it may just sound like a general observation or just comments. Either to mislead you or just to hype up the character, but there is meaning behind those words.
One thing that you can say now is the way they had him come out is there is an actual studio audience again, because he walked through the audience, so you can't say there isn't a studio audience anymore. They've got one. Finally.
But let me tell you this. The studio audience has some of the stupidest reactions. Yeah. Because Leslie Jordan
told them.
Hold on. Leslie Jordan pulls his helmet off, and they show shots of the crowd going,
yeah.
You don't even know who the hell he is. Stop reacting that way.
They told him to pantomime. That they have people out there like, we're going to need you guys to pantomime like your reaction because they can't hear you.
I know.
Take a look, whatever.
And guess what? It goes back to something I said in a previous and a video we just recorded before this. It makes the people at home look stupid. Like you couldn't, it's almost it makes because they want
really
you to
did know who
believe.
he was.
Oh, come on, man. She didn't know who it was. You see how old she was? She had no clue. She didn't watch Will and Grace. She was a baby when that show was on.
I know exactly which person you're talking about now too. I had the same thought. I was like, why is she doing that?
No, and that's what kills me about this show. That's the thing that I hate about this show. Those stupid crowd reactions and the judges' stupid reactions.
I don't know why when they're like you so much.
Because it's I don't know what the right word is, but to pass that off as being authentic, you're trying to pass that and making me look stupid into believing you, thinking that you can get me to believe that actually is a natural reaction. It's not. You think I'm an idiot if you think I'm going to believe that.
Well, let's get into it.
Let's get started. Let's get into
it. Kicking off this week's episodes after our performance by the soft serve, we get Bull. My guess for Bull is still standing at Todrick Hall, and I have even more reasons why. So we will get to this next. But in this, they added an extra image of Hall and Oates in here somewhere. A theatrical background. The person under the mask is very nosy. He's been trying to find out who the other singers are, and had something to do when they brought out the time travel thing. He made the mention of Rent, and everybody keyed in on that, as did I. Because I was like, did he do Rent? Because he's done a couple like different things, and I was like, I don't know if he did Rent. But what I do know is that, like all other like artists, singers, and that kind of thing, everybody was doing those like the quarantine albums. Like they were recording music at home and then like playing it out over the over the internet and everything. Todrick Hall did one called Quarantine Queen, and one of the songs in it is this hilarious song called Rent. And it's about a landlord who calls the guy who's stuck at home during quarantine and is asking for the rent money, and he just goes off on him, like goes full Karen on the landlord. It's actually a hilarious song, but that keys in. I keyed into that too, so I'm still going with Todrick Hall for Bull.
Okay, now somebody, I think it may have been Robin that said Taye Diggs. Which is a good guess.
Yeah, because I was thinking Taye Diggs. I was like, Taye Diggs is not, but he is. He is actually really short.
He was in Rent,
and he is really.
He was in Rent, and he's also was a doctor in private practice. True. That's true. So those work. However, I'm still sticking with Sisqó for right now.
The Bull is a lot more energetic than I feel Taye Diggs would be. Like after watching him on shows and different things, I don't think he's that animated is the word I'm looking for. Sisqó definitely is. Sisqó definitely is, and Todrick Hill most definitely is. So Todrick Hall, but I just don't see him being that animated.
Yeah, I'm totally sticking with Sisqó. So that brings us to Skunk. I think she was the next one.
Yes, and no, Pepper was next. Pepper came after Skunk.
Oh, okay.
So, Pepper, I had no guess for this, but upon their clues, they put in Courtney Cox. So, of course, I was like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, because now I know I'm going to find. That's how I found the other ones. I put in Courtney Cox sings with Star, and the first thing that came up was Natasha Bedingfield. And I was like, British? This person is definitely British, because the way that they said wizard was not right. Like, you can hide it, but like certain words you say when you're British, you can't not say the British way. And like aluminum. British people say aluminium for no good reason.
Aluminium.
But when they say it, you're like, yeah, you're definitely British, because nobody says it that way.
Or vitamin.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, definitely British. And I was like, I looked it up. I was like, oh, okay, so Natasha Bedingfield is British. There was a point in there where she was fighting with the guards, and she has a shield, and there's like an angel on that shield, and she is involved with a charity. that their logo is an angel. I forgot what it's called exactly right now. I wrote it down, but I forgot what it was. But she Global Angels, that's what it is. She also, and she did that song with Courtney Cox and her daughter Coco Arquette. I don't know, but it's called Unwritten. But all of those things, Google Foo, and I'm going with Natasha Bedingfield because Courtney Cox gave me somebody I could add to like as a guest.
Yeah. Now, we had last week, Jacob commented on our episode saying that he's pretty sure the pepper is Natasha Bedingfield.
Oh, I didn't even read that.
She went viral because of her booty on TikTok. Yes, I did say her booty.
I hadn't even looked at last week's episode when after you put it up. So
we're
on the same page.
I had that in the back of my mind with him saying that. Not that I was going to automatically change it, but obviously watching when I did, I was like, I may not be on with Billie Eilish, right. But the only thing that I did come out of this is that Courtney Cox needs to eat a cheeseburger.
Everyone's always said Courtney Cox needs a sandwich.
I mean, good Lord, it was like, okay, we're not going to shame.
Well, I'm gonna say that like the fact that he guessed that's his guess, and I came across it without seeing his guess, makes me even more in the camp of that's exactly who this is because I've got backup. Or I'm backing him up since he put it out there first. But I'm going to go with that because I had no other guess anyway. And since that's the only connection I can make to Courtney Cox, then that's who it's going to be for me. Are you going to go with that, or are you going to stick with...
I hate to do it just because it's like, oh yeah, they said that, I almost feel like a follower. It's like, okay, yeah, you guessed the right one. I'm going to guess it too. It's like I'm cheating off you. So I'm again, I've got nothing... I don't know either way. I'm not, I don't know enough about Natasha Bedingfield, much less Billie Eilish.
Neither do I, but again, when you go with the clues make sense. Unless, I know. Mind you, unless it's Coco Arquette under that mask, and that still wraps up properly if you really think about it. Because it's still someone else, and Coco Arquette is a singer now, and why not?
I don't even know.
It's
as far as I know,
Courtney's daughter.
That's all I know.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I'm not.
But that's where I'm going with it. I mean, you can join on, man. That's what it's about. Finding an idea.
Maybe next week. maybe next week when I get some more clues that I don't understand.
All right. That puts us in the
So we move on to skunk.
Now you're gonna admit I was right, right? Are you gonna admit I was right? Just do it.
I'm going to say this.
Here it comes, folks.
I still like my Mary J guess.
But
however,
you can see it now, can't you?
Well,
come to the dark side.
The big clue I think was the pager and the code. Mm-hmm. And just like Robin said, that was the name of the song for Biggie. Yep. And she mentioned that, she wished she could have said goodbye one last time or whatever.
In one of her interviews right after he died.
So
but if you look at that security guard, rewind that episode and look at the security guard. The security guard is wearing a bowler hat, glasses. He's got the cane with the white tip, which is the same image
does he?
As Biggie when he had on the pinstripe suit.
Junior Mafia cover.
Definitely referring to Biggie. And if that's the case, this is Faith Evans, like I said, from episode 1. So,
yeah, I'm going with it as well.
That's a lock. Oh, and I'm locking that in, by the way, if I hadn't already. I'm pretty sure
Me too. All right, moving on. That is going to put us into...
Hamster.
Well, does that put us... Oh, yeah, Hamster. I already crossed his name off. That's why I missed him.
So, Hamster was spoiled for us.
Hamster was spoiled for us, but let's skip... Well, it didn't really hinder on my guess because... I decided not to put out a final guess for this since I already knew. Mm. But I will say this. You can go back. You can watch the old episode. I was headed down the right path with that
one. And I chose that path based on what you said. I was like, that really does sound right. I'm going to go with it.
I created the path, and you just chose to follow it while I just went a different direction.
It works out well for me.
Yeah, because that puts you up yet another name.
Sir.
It was Rob Schneider, and we've talked about the things that led to that. If you go back and watch last week's episode, if you haven't already watched it, why would you watch this one and not that one? But we covered a lot of the things that it could be Rob Schneider,
right?
And there was even more in this episode as well too. You had the copies,
right,
coming out of a copier, which is a reference to the copy guy in the Saturday Night Live skit from back in the 90s. I'm sure there were some other references.
It was a Saturday. It was the Saturday was the date circled on it on the 30th. So
yes, yeah. So yeah, that's it's Rob Schneider. I mean, what are you gonna do? He actually didn't sound bad doing a song in Spanish.
This last song, like when I was like, why did they vote him off? Like he nailed that song. Like I don't know the song, but it sounded legit. Like it sounded.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
if he had done that earlier, I would have been like, there's no way that's Rob Schneider. There's no way. But
well, I figure either there was a bunch of people that knew Spanish and knew he wasn't really singing anything meaningful. That was just like. La Biblioteca.
I mean, that sounded like a song. You can't just string a bunch of words along and make it sound like a song. Like that, he belted that one. Like I was genuinely impressed at how well he did that song. And then when he sung it with the head off, like it sounded even better. I was like, holy shit, dude, he could really sing that song. That's a great rendition.
I'd be half pressed to say that out of this episode, the Jester was probably the worst.
That's the one I thought was going to lose. Like, if I didn't know already, unfortunately, that Hamster was going, Jester would have been the one that I voted off. Honestly, like that would have been the one that I would have said was going to go. That creepy
and that leads us
that creepy clown.
That leads us to the Jester.
Okay, so.
Do you have any guesses?
I was like, that thing is creepy as hell looking. I like it. Like, I like this costume. And whoever's in it is just kind of, he's strutting it. Like, he's playing that like, creepy clown, like, the walk and the way he was acting. Like, I liked it a lot. I do have a guess. And again, it's right on the nose. And they've never done this before. We've talked about this before. But I can't think of anybody else who would be that creepy. And then with the things that they said, if you look at the top 100 most influential people in the world, that puts you directly to a list of people, and it does work out. Like he did, "School's Out for Summer." It's an Alice Cooper song, right?
Yes. And not a hair metal song like Jenny said.
Yeah, I was like, that is not like Vixen or Poison, dude. That's not what's going on here. But I'm
more mad at that than anything.
He did this song, and whoever was doing it, like you can hear, like again, there's certain words when you hear a British person say it, and he said the word pencil. And my boss is British, and whenever he says the word pencil, it comes out like that. And I'm like, that's British. That's definitely British. And so whoever this is British. And when you start looking back into the clue package, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going for the first time with a direct hit. This is Alice Cooper singing an Alice Cooper song. Why? Because he's annoying and he would do it. I'm going with it. Also, been kicked out of venues, pissed off heads of state. Like, heads of state is a statement, I think, that's more of a British thing than it is a European thing than it is an American thing. Because heads of states are like people from different countries. So I could see him like traveling around performing and like pissing off people left and right just because he's so crass and crude. So I'm just gonna say that this is Alice Cooper. That's my guess.
All right, and you said because of the accent.
The accent and the like I said, the heads of state thing is just there's certain ways about talking about things that lead you to certain people, and that's where I'm at right now.
I hate to break this to you.
Okay.
Alice Cooper is not from England.
He's not?
He's from the US.
Is he?
He's from here.
I thought he was British.
No.
Oh, well then maybe I'm wrong. I could have swore he was British.
You're way wrong.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
No.
I thought he was British.
No. I think he's actually from the Midwest.
Really? Well, that shows you how much I know about the genre.
Yeah, here, let me see. Alice Cooper. He is from, I want to say Detroit, but I'm not positive. Yeah, he's from Detroit. So, you're way off.
I'll take it. That's fine.
Now, I wrote my answer down before the person even sang.
Okay.
I'm locking it in simply because I wrote it down before I even heard them sing, based on some of the clues that written there. You mentioned that he pissed off a lot of people. We can kind of conclude that the person is a comedian. Even the judges mentioned that as well too. I picked up on that, just based on the clues, and then one of the judges had to go and say my pick after the performance. Now, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm still locking it in. Nope. Okay. Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais?
Yes.
I haven't seen Ricky Gervais in a long time.
Ricky Gervais is known to piss a lot of people off.
That is true.
And if you go back, I didn't write the clues down because I'd never know what's actually a clue and what's not. But there were some clues that were set in there that led me to believe that it's probably him. Hopefully next week we get some more clues in the package that might open that up a little bit more in regards to maybe roles that he's had. Maybe we see an office thing.
There were 2 satellites in one of the clue packages. There was a bunch of chickens in one of the clue packages. Insulted heads of states, banned from venues, and he was slapped in handcuffs in one of the clue packages as well. So, but looking at, because I just looked up Alice Cooper, there's a reference in here about Alice Cooper throwing a chicken out into the crowd at one of his shows because he thought it could fly.
Now
you threw a live chicken to the crowd. That's messed up.
Hold that thought. This idea just came to me.
Okay.
Now, even though I just watched the episode like 2 hours ago, I'd have to go back and rewatch the performance. Now, I've seen Ozzy a couple of times, so I'm really familiar with what he sounds like live. Not what I heard there on TV, I can tell you that. However, the chickens could be a clue there. Pissing off heads of state could be Ozzy as well.
But Ozzy
he's British.
Ozzy can't move. Ozzy is very, very slow right now. Like
except when he's on stage.
But him walking out from that crowd, like from the backstage, then through the crowd up the steps, like that's not Ozzy movement at all. I've seen Ozzy move around lately, and it's not that limber.
But I think that's a good option. Maybe. But I'm still sticking with Ricky Gervais on this one.
I'm gonna go with British Alice Cooper.
You're way off.
I'm gonna die on this hill just because I'm so wrong. I'm dying on this hill. Fuck it.
All right.
I'm gonna let you have this one.
Please let us know in the comments how bad that guess was.
You're gonna call me out in the comments. Oh, I hate you.
Yeah. Why not?
All right.
So on behalf of Vic, we're gonna take off. We do want to thank you for watching. On behalf of Vic,
that's me.
I'm Corey. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.
Sorry, Detroit. I didn't know Alice Cooper was American. See ya.